What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sean Davis. Make sure you guys follow me on X at Sean_DAVI and hit that like button and subscribe button as well. Make sure you guys do that. Got a bunch of great content on the way for the finals that's coming up. The NBA draft stuff. I have another mock draft and my first big board finally dropping next week. I've said that for about a week now, but it's finally going to happen next week. Been super busy, but we're going to get that out for you guys. But joining me today, good friend of mine in the content creator space. Even though he's a Grizzlies fan, I promise you I won't touch on Ja Morant and Instagram or the 2023 NBA playoffs or Ja Morant getting hurt in the 22 playoffs. Damn, it's been a rough year.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My guy Adam Pike does a great job, like I said, covering the Memphis Grizzlies. One of the brightest X's and O's guys, and has done a great job covering the NBA draft as well. You guys can follow him on Twitter at Grizzlies Film. I'll make sure I put his stuff in the comment and in the description down below. My guy Adam, how you doing, bro? Really quick, I want to give you your flowers one more time. One of the things you've done this season is you've tracked over. I'm just reading the tweet. I've seen it. We've had conversations about it. You've tracked over 500 ATOs from the Memphis Grizzlies playbook this season, and I would be lying to you if I didn't say that I've definitely stolen a few of them and added them to my own ATO sheet. So shout out to you. Like I say, you're doing incredible work this season. I'm really excited to watch it next season as well.
Thank you. I have a very similar Excel to Crange's Basketball or Tim. I think it's at 8,900 lines, something like that. So
Yeah.
excluding all garbage time, it's every play they ran this season.
Oh, sure. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. Shout out to you. And also shout out to Tim, obviously. Been on the show. Also a great friend of mine in the content space. Tim's awesome, and you're awesome as well, obviously.
Yeah, Tim is the GOAT. Lots of good help from Tim that I've got. And yeah, nice to talk to you. We've talked on Twitter before, but this is awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So on today's show, we're not doing X's and O's, although, I mean, if it comes up in conversation, it just comes up. But we're going to dive into a really polarizing draft class. And to the point where I made a video, the time it was released maybe a week ago now, about, like, stop telling me this is a bad draft class. And the reason why I made the video is not because it isn't, not even because the statement's wrong necessarily, right? Because comparatively speaking, when you're sandwiched in between the 2023 NBA draft class and what we think the 2025 draft class is going to be, it's fair to call it a bad draft class. But the reason why I said stop telling me that is because it's getting so overplayed now that we're overlooking some of the high upside guys. There's still a bunch of high upside guys in this draft class that are going to be really, really fun. Even a lot of the guys that, okay, their upside is a rotation player, they're still really, really fun. And just because you're a 10-year vet that's a rotation player, that doesn't mean you're a bust. That doesn't mean you're not going to be a good NBA player. So, Adam, I say all that to say, what are your thoughts on this year's draft class and the narrative that is a bad draft class?
So we did it at an interesting time because yesterday a bunch of players pulled out. And I think there were some strong players, like Nick Clifford was a player I really liked.
I love
Probably in
Nick
the
Clifford.
first round. Yeah, he pulled out yesterday. Who else pulled out?
Hunter Salas, which
Hunter
depending on how
Salas,
you feel
yeah.
about him, I've seen Ryan Hammer, I think, has he had him as like a late first round grade. It's like, oh, okay. Even some of the no ceilings people are like really high on Hunter
Yeah.
Salas.
Xavier Lee, he's from Toronto, just like
Yep.
me. I liked him, but yeah. So I don't think the class is that
Mark
bad.
Sears went back.
Yeah, Mark Sears went back, all 5'10" of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad of a class. There's no Wemby, obviously. There's no
Cooper Flag.
There's no flag you're looking for next year, but I think there's a few senior guys that I really like, 4-year guys that can probably play day one, like a Jaime Jaquez. And I think there are those upside guys too, like Ron Holland and others we'll get to.
Yeah, so I think what the past few draft classes has shown us is that it's not a fair. I don't think it's a fair enough criticism anymore to say, well, this guy's old, so we're not going to draft him in the lottery anymore. Like to your point, Jaime Jaquez last year, Brandon Podziemski last year, guys that came in and were immediate, and Golden State didn't play him right away. He had to earn it, but still, like, pretty immediate, like, big time rotation pieces that were awesome for win now, if you will, organizations. And that helps guys like a Don Connect, for example, a ton in this draft. I mean, Don Connect is just generally awesome, but that really does help a guy like him in his case. And really a lot of the seniors, or excuse me, like a Jalen Tyson 2 years ago would not be getting top 20 buzz because, he's about to be 23, I think. We limited upside, we're good. We're now like, and I still think this is a bit of a reach personally, but now we're getting, Jalen Tyson is a top 20-ish prospect from a lot of the high level analysts, if you will, in the field. So, what are your thoughts about that? Like, and how like the evaluation process has grown in terms of how we view as a draft community, if you will, how we view senior prospects, 4-year prospects, etc.
Yeah, I think Jaime Jaquez, he did a lot. But also for senior prospects, but also like when you look at the playoffs and someone like Derek Lively is contributing right away on the Mavericks, I think it's much easier for like a 4-year player to contribute right away in the playoffs. Like if Jalen Tyson played in the playoffs next year, then I could see that happening.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to make sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Pods was a 4-year player, right? Or was he 3?
Pods, he was 2-year player.
2, okay.
Yeah. Tracy Jackson Davis, though, is a good example from the Warriors.
That's a good example. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking Pods because I remember Pods being a little bit older. I remember like Pods being like about to turn 21. He turned 21 in February, so I was like, oh wait, maybe he's a 3-year at least. But so yeah, that's my bad. But yeah, Trace Jackson Davis is a good example. Speaking of TJD, this is just on my mind because I've gotten this question a lot with like Kel'el Ware this year. They're like, Sean, is Kel'el Ware playing at Indiana a concern for you because of JHS? I said no, but what is a concern for me is having to watch Indiana's floor spacing. Indiana's offense is such a drag to watch sometimes, and I think college has the versatility of offenses. I mean, I know I said we wouldn't do too much X's and O's, but this is actually, I think, a good point. And this could explain some of the learning curve, even maybe for college prospects going into the NBA, which I think you have to evaluate like some IQ related stuff as well. It's hard to, but I think you have to try. There's more versatility, so the opportunity to see more cool stuff is there in the college game, I feel, from an X's and O standpoint. But the level of reliability and the actual like, okay, this team is going to run consistently good stuff. Whereas in the NBA, like, okay, every team for the most part is going to run good stuff. Now, are they going to be good? Probably not. Or, that varies a little bit more. But it's not going to be as creative in the NBA. But they're going to run more consistent stuff. So do you think, like, the situation, like how structured their, like, offense or defense is from a schematic standpoint affects their long-term outlook in the NBA at all, or do you think that it really just depends on the right situation?
So situation dependent, but like look at Donovan Clingan, Tristan Newton, like players who played at
The UConn guys.
They all looked good. Yeah. They all looked good. On the other end of that, you get players who went to Kentucky, some guards who they got to the NBA and they look a lot better in the NBA. So
Yeah.
I don't think it affects it long term. Maybe an interesting guy to look at is Ryan Dunn in the mover blocker offense. Like that one's really, really difficult to like project being even an average NBA player on offense. But mover
Yeah.
blocker's not doing anyone any good. Except the one year they won.
Yeah, except the 1 year they won.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Hunter leaves, rightfully so. Turns out being like a top 5 pick, but like Ty Jerome's the next notable NBA guy. I mean, Kyle Guy got drafted, but
Okay,
let's do this. Let's get into a fun part here. Let's talk about some of our favorite my guys. So there's 2 ways we could do this. In the spirit of the draft, we could do a draft of our favorite my guys in this draft class, or we could just go one by one. We list off our different my guys. Which one?
Let's go one by one. We'll each pick one and then we'll go back. You can start if you want. Because then if you take someone I wanted, then I'll change up my mind.
Okay. So I'll start off here, and I'm going to go Isaiah Collier. I think one of the things that impressed me when I watched Isaiah Collier's tape this season, is that when obviously the beginning of the year was really, really rough, but for a guy that 5-star prospect has that brutal start to the season, gets hurt, And I guess the only way to really like describe this is mental toughness to go through that process of getting hurt, playing terrible basketball, your team being god awful, and coming back. And he had to come back, mind you, because like his draft stock was in the gutter. Come back, and it almost just like clicked all of a sudden where the jumper was a little bit more consistent, the turnover volume dropped, and while he was a little bit more of an efficient playmaker, he's built like a freaking running back in the NFL. It's insane. I think I had a buddy of mine send me this. I think he finished 68% at the rim when he got to explode off of 2 feet and play off of 2 feet at the rim, which is freaking nuts. Like the amount of touches won, he lives at the rim, but so explosive off of 2 feet. It's hard to really knock him off balance too, man. I love Isaiah Collier. I think he has. I still struggle with the comp. I just went with the running back, honestly, because that's how he's built. But I love Isaiah Collier. I hope he gets drafted to a really good spot because I think he could be really, really good.
Yeah, Collier is another player I'm really high on too. I do have a little board. I did post on Twitter, but I have Collier number 3 right now. I think
You have Collier 3 on yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you're going for primary bet, he might be the best primary bet in the class. Like the advantage creation is really good. He's a great athlete. Well, not great athlete, but better than average. I think it's being a little undervalued how good his athleticism is.
Yeah.
Good downhill attacker. He's built like a tank, like you said. Uses speed to get to the basket with his power. The speed to power is really good.
Mm-hmm. Using all the NFL references here. Speed to power, common edge rusher term.
Actually, I don't know anything about I don't watch football at all, so so if I say anything football, it's unrelated. But I think going back to like the maturity, I think when he came back, he apologized to his USC teammates, if that's right, about like lack of effort on some plays. Because he came back and his defense, there were points where it looks like he could be one of the best point of attack defenders in the league, or not in the league, but in the class, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's really underrated on defense too.
Yeah. I have him currently, I'm still working through my board so I could at least get like a first draft out next week. Right now he is tied for 8th on my board. Okay. He's tied for 8th on my board. There is a very small gap, obviously, if any, really, between him and the other 2 guys. But I love Isaiah Collier. One of my favorite landing spots for him has been San Antonio at 8 recently.
Man, San Antonio, they could even double down on trying to get like primary bets, like him and even like Rob Dillingham or something. And if they just have to get one of them right, or they get both like 75% right, then I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
San Antonio's a good call.
Yeah. All right. What about you?
Okay, so my first one, I'll go in order of my draft board. So I had him at 14 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So lottery pick is Carlton Carrington. So Bub Carrington from Pitt. Yeah. I love Bub. So I'll tell you some of the things that I like when I evaluate draft prospects. So
okay.
One of them is like positional size. So for a 1, which he played a lot, he's great positional size. For a 2, it's pretty good. It's like average at least. So he can switch between those 2 positions. The other is repetitions. So at Pitt, he got a crazy amount of repetitions, and the dribble jumper, I think he had like 250 or something, like by far the most in the class last year. And like the dribble jumper, it was like 50% on 2s or something like that, 34% on 3s. It was really good. So it wasn't like not a mid-range god like Devin Booker or someone right now in the league, but just getting the reps of the dribble jumper, I think he's never gonna get those reps again in the NBA, I don't think. So I think that's like a really good learning point for him. And if he even cuts like 1 or 2 of those bad shots out per game, the efficiency is gonna go way up.
Another guy I really, really like, ironically, you said 14 on your board. He's 15 on mine right now.
Okay.
I think he's awesome. And I think again, if we're going like primary creator, I think he has that upside. I think the biggest thing with him, honestly, is I'm trying to find my scouting report right quick. I want him to try to just add more like contact strength, and because I think that'll actually just help him with his defense too. Where I like some of the point of attack stuff too, where I think he does have some upside on that side of the ball, where he showed really fun flashes as like a screen navigator. He's the youngest. I think he's the flat out youngest player in this draft class. He has really, really fun upside, but like I said, just more contact straight because he just doesn't get to the rim. Only 13% of his shot attempts in the half court were at the rim. So just too reliant on the jumper, but it's because he's not like the shiftiest dude, and he's not like he just does have enough contact strength right now. But again, I love him. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. He's 15th on my board for a reason. 14th on your board. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you about getting to the rim and also drawing fouls. That would help him a lot.
Yeah.
The other thing is he could be one of the 3 best pick and roll players out of this draft class. The patience with the handle and the creativity when he jails defenders in pick and roll. I think he's really good.
Yeah.
So getting those to the rim would help him a lot.
All right. Next up for me, I teased him earlier, and I guess I'm saying it because I think honestly, some of what I think he's just getting a little bit underrated now in the cycle. I'm gonna go Don Connect. I think he's a better athlete than he's getting credit for. Where I think you see a lot of people talk about him. Oh, he's just a good shooter or whatever. Older player that's gonna be able to come in. He has like legitimate on ball stuff creation as well, while also not being a bad athlete. Like, he's an above. I'm not saying he's an elite athlete, but I think the notion around him is he's an average to below average athlete, where he's an above average to good NBA athlete in terms of, ability to create space, ability to finish at the rim. I really like Don Connect. Again, I think if there is a Jaime Jaquez type player in this draft class, I would say, yep, it's Don Connect. So I'm going to go Don Connect. I love him a lot. I think he has a range. I did a mock draft with Matt, 6 Rings to Steal.
Yeah.
And I talked about him going at 5 at Detroit. I mean, I wound up trading down to 7 for Detroit and still taking him there. But like, I think he's a lottery guy for sure. If he doesn't go lottery, then somebody that's a contender needs to just trade the hell up and get him, because that's the type of dude you want on your team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like Connect a lot. Again, he's a guy who got a lot of reps, 4 years at school. Yeah, a lot of like the little curls he got to shoot threes, those are going to be useful in the league. I think he's going to use that a lot. He's someone I have in the lottery too. I think he's going to be a really good senior.
He's 12 on my board currently. Again, this is the rough edition. He's 12.
Let's see, one sec. Oh, I got him 11.
We're like one off of every single one of these right now.
Yeah.
All right. What's next for you?
So I'll go to the guy I currently have at 12, Tristan da Silva.
I love Tristan da Silva.
Me too. So another senior. He's got very good positional size because I think he's going to play a lot of 3 and some 4. I think he's 6'10" in shoes, 6'9", 6'9.5" in shoes. So he is someone, let me just pull up my notes as well. I think maybe Jared McCain's this guy, but I think Da Silva could be the best shooter in the draft.
One of those two. Throw Connect in it. One of those 3, honestly.
Yeah, Dalton Connect's going to be another good one, I think. I think he shot like nearly 300 3-point attempts, and he was shooting 39% or something like that on them. Got a pretty good dribble jumper. He has a runner / floater that he doesn't use a lot, but it's at least there. Hopefully that increases because the touch on those is really good. He's very fluid for his size at 6'10". Like, you're not going to find many guys that are as fluid as him on that end. And I think he's going to be ready day one. The defense, I think, is pretty good. He's not the best athlete, so it's a lot of playing catch up, or he has to anticipate a lot, but I think he does a pretty good job on them. And he improved a lot this year. The playmaking, there's still issues with turnovers out of his passes, but the playmaking was pretty good. It was a lot better than last year. And I think last year he was even interesting in the draft if he came out.
If he came out, yeah.
Yeah.
I am glad that you touched on the playmaking. I don't even think he needs to be like this. I'm not saying you're saying this. I don't think he needs to be this crazy playmaker, but I think just the connective playmaking ability, which for role players nowadays is, I think, an equally as important skill. Like, you don't need to be this insane playmaker unless you're, one of the starters or like one of the key offensive engines. But the connective playmaking ability, and he's just a winning player. I think I saw I forget who did it, but somebody compared him to Cam Johnson the other day. He's got the Coos comparison a lot too. But the Cam Johnson one's a really nice one. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Just a guy that's gonna come. Maybe Cam's a better defender. Maybe. Right. I think Cam is kind of an underrated defender, especially in Phoenix. Cam Johnson in Phoenix is a really good defender. Where I feel like everybody in Brooklyn now has just gone to shit defensively. I think that's a really fun comp. I mocked him to the Lakers in my most recent mock draft, and if he's there, I mean, the Lakers have to snatch him up. I have him
Perfect for the Lakers.
In my first, again, I'm going to kind of revisit a lot of these guys, especially dudes outside of my top 5. I'm going to revisit a lot of them, but right now he's 16. I feel like I'm low-balling him, so
okay, that's pretty good from what I've seen. I have him 12, so I think, again, it's like another, he was productive in college, hopefully he's productive kind of bet. And right now, I keep going back and forth on this, but right now I think he is the best prospect on Colorado, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that, right? So I love Cody Williams, personally. I have Cody Williams currently 7 on my board.
Okay.
Currently. And I can't help but think that if we don't get the injuries from Cody Williams, where I think post-injury Cody Williams is a completely different player than what we got for that month and a half stretch. I can't even remember when, because he was pretty much, he had the nose or the face injury. He had the ankle, which really bothered him, and that's like what you got towards the end of the season. He rushed back from that. I think he messed up his hand too. I think, or am I making that up? Am I making that up?
He might have. The ankle injury is the one that really affected his athleticism, though.
Yeah, that really affected his athleticism, which, I mean, I guess you could be critical and like say like, well, okay, if that's really impacting your athleticism, then like we might need to have a conversation. It was it was orbital injury, wrist injury, so it wasn't making up the hand, and then ankle right before Pac-12 tourney, if I got that correctly.
Right in March.
Yep. But I see Jaden McDaniels when I see Cody Williams, healthy Cody Williams. I saw Jaden McDaniels. That might be, based on your reaction, that might be completely nuts. But what was your evaluation when watching Cody Williams?
So this is my bias as a Grizzlies fan because I see Zaire Williams. Now, I don't see it with the way he plays, but I see the frame and the core strength and like not being able to beat people off the bump. So I get flashbacks to that. Now, I think he's interesting, especially if he shoots 40% from 3. But a lot of what I see is if he's like a wing ball handler, like secondary, tertiary creator without a 3-point shot, then just have a hard time seeing him being like a plus player in the NBA.
I think I mean naturally because his brother's J-Dub, that's gonna draw some comparison. But that's the one thing that's kind of annoyed me. I'm like, okay, they're completely different players. Yeah. I think Cody's a perfect spot for a team like Chicago, I think. I love that spot for Cody because don't necessarily have to play right away. It still fits more of a position of need for Chicago, though, and they can really – I think you need to have a plan. If you just draft Cody Williams, I mean, like that's kind of like the most no-duh statement ever, but no-duh. Like with Cody Williams, like if you draft him without having, okay, cool, we're going to put you on this player development plan, we're going to these certain things, X, Y, Z, whatever – if you don't have that, Cody Williams could, I don't want to say easily, but like it could turn into a situation where, like you said, he's not a super positive NBA player, right? Because I think the jumper mechanically just needs some work. And I think even if you're a believer in the jumper, okay, the volume sucks, which I think in general, I think he shot 40% from 3, but it was like literally on 40 attempts or something like that. Like the volume was
like 1 a game.
Yeah,
or
so
2 a game maybe.
2 a game maybe, right? The volume's just incredibly low. And then again, I'm glad you brought up the ball handling piece. The handle is too loose right now.
Yeah.
It's loose and you just can't create consistent separation. But I'm good finisher at the rim. I love the way he used his frame to create leverage and finish at the rim. I thought when he was healthy, he was a better athlete than he got credit for. Now, again, granted, like, do you have legitimate concerns about the injury and how that affected his athleticism? And I thought when he was healthy, I thought I was completely sold on the defense personally when he was healthy.
Yeah,
Um,
the switchability, like being able to go into guards is really nice too.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
just using his length to stop them at the rim and stuff. Yeah.
we were having a conversation, and I feel like I'm using this in the reverse way, right? We were having a conversation about like guys we would be happy to be wrong about.
Yep.
I hope I'm using this right. I would be happy to be wrong about Cody Williams. No. Crap. Wait, I think I'm using that wrong. Crap. What I'm trying to say is like if I'm wrong about Cody Williams, oh well, right? Like I don't. I'm not losing sleep about being wrong about Cody Williams. Like okay, the shot did come around. Never, whatever. I took a gamble on 3-and-D upside against my combo Shane McDaniels. I took a gamble on that. I'd be happy to be wrong. Yeah, I am using that right.
Yeah, someone like, if they don't reach maybe if they only ever get like their 50th or like their 40th percentile outcome, that's still a good player.
Yeah,
So something like that.
yeah. So I'll just use Cody Williams as my. Let's do two more each. Let's do two more. Well, one more
Okay.
for me, two more for you.
Okay. So next after Bub and Tristan. Okay. Uh, Actually, I'll go Jonathan Mobo. Have you
Okay,
watched him?
I watched them in person. They played
Oh, okay.
they played UC in at NIT in at UC, and I was
Yeah, he was
there.
in the NIT.
Yeah,
Okay. Did you like him?
yeah, I thought it was really good. Me and my best friend, we were he's not as filled on the draft process. He's like, who's that? They're like, oh yeah, he's a pretty good player.
Okay.
I need to completely finish my eval, but I
Yeah.
do from watching him and from watching a few of his games. I was like, oh yeah, he's a pretty good player.
Okay. So this might seem like a big reach, but I have him 16 right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. He's so I have him as maybe not the third best, but he's my third favorite big. So like after Sar and I like Filipowski, I would take Mobo next. I do have him right there with Deron Holmes,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think he can anchor a defense in the NBA because the rim protection is not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he can be a +4. He's got a crazy wingspan. I think it's +7. Uh, he's got a crazy jittery athleticism that's really nice. Uh, but on offense is where I really like him. He's crazy good rebounder too. I think he was like sixth in the NCAA in defensive rebounding, and he was like top 15 in offensive rebounding. But I think he's unique. The ability to play make at the 5 at 6'8". He's running a lot of delay sets, like delay zoom sets.
Yep.
If the play doesn't develop, he keeps dribbling. He doesn't stop, doesn't pick up the ball early, just keeps dribbling. He'll drive to the basket, and if he's doubled on the gap, he'll pass it right out. Probably the best passing big in the class. Uh, I love Mobo, and
Him and like Oso Igdaro. I
I
hope
love
I
Oso
pronounced that
too.
right.
Yeah, Oso's
Oso's
another
fun.
really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know the concerns about Mobo. He didn't play in a great conference. He was in JUCO for 2 years. And he won't be able to play the 5. So you probably have to do something on offense where you play like a shooting 4, and then you kind of flip them on defense where Mobo's you flip them on offense where Mobo's like the 5, and then he's the 4 on defense. But
Yeah.
I really like the uniqueness, and if a team wants to go for it with him, maybe he's like a bench creator, like secondary again, tertiary creator, then I see a lot of upside in Mobo, even though I think he's turning 23 this year. He's someone I like a lot. The touch leaves a lot to be desired too. Doesn't have the runner. He did shoot some threes at JUCO, but nothing you can count on as being a plus in the NBA.
Yeah. He's super fun. I'm excited to finish my full eval on him before the first big board drops because he's definitely really, really fun. Next for me, you mentioned him. Right now, this guy is hold on, I gotta find it on my board. He's tied for 18, I think, on my board with Kalel Ware, but I'm gonna go with Deron Holmes. And I evaluated these two players back to back, and I promise you, this is not an insult at Deron Holmes. But I evaled Kalel Ware. I had very strong opinions about Kalel Ware. I like him ultimately, but I kind of came to the decision that like I like the idea. Excuse me. I like the idea of Kalel Ware currently more than I like the player Kalel Ware. Whereas if Kalel Ware really pans out, I think you got a really good NBA player, like a popular mock and a mock that popped up to me fairly quickly was like Miles Turner as a
Yep.
perfect best case scenario comp was Miles Turner. And the low end comp for me at least is like current day Christian Wood, like Lakers Christian Wood, not the
Okay.
20 points per game.
Yeah, yeah.
Dallas Mavericks, not that guy. Lakers Christian Wood. And then I immediately watched Deron Holmes. Again, this is not an insult. And I was like, oh, okay, good player. um, really fun, like just I mean, in general, really fun player. Like truthfully, right? I think really athletic finish. I mean, just really athletic player in general. Who is a real so Dayton runs a lot of like ball screen continuity stuff, right? So naturally, such a good screen setter. They one of the versions of their like ball screen continuity, like and I know because I took inspiration for so my high school team that I coach. We're adding some more ball screen motion or like Euro ball screen continuity stuff this season, and Dayton does. I mean, because they have Deron Holmes, obviously, they do such a good job like utilizing the high-low action out of it. And Holmes is a capable passer. The turnover stuff is something he does need to tighten up on, and that like hinders his playmaking ability just a bit. But has that ability to do that. Really good pick and pop player. 36% pick and pop threes. Relatively good volume for a big. And then I just love this versatility and how he can be a defensive chess piece where he is a good rim protector. He can like bang down low and in a pinch play out on the perimeter and be able to guard 3 through 5 and guard on the perimeter on switches. So I like Deron Holmes. Just I think honestly my weaknesses on him are like for the most part outside of the turnovers, my major weaknesses are stuff that I never, if I'm a like competent NBA team, I'm never gonna need him to do those things that he had to do at Dayton. So like I just think he's a good NBA player personally. I would be shocked if Deron Holmes sucks. Like if he just flat out bottoms out, I would be kind of surprised personally.
So I have him right beside Mobo. I think he's another he's another bet for a good big. The DHO stuff on the perimeter and like the ball continuity you're talking about, that's really impressive in the ability to pop out of those. So just like adding another playmaker and someone who can handle a bit, I like that a lot. Seeing people say he's who Deron Holmes is who people think Kyle Filipowski is. So maybe people are higher there. I don't know if he's gonna be the anchor in pick and roll. Maybe he'll be like starting 4 in some lineups and then like backup 5 in some. But
Yeah.
the flexibility to play him at both is really nice. Yeah, he's someone I'm high on too. Right beside Mobo for me. So like 17th right now, just under 20.
Yeah. And then your last one. I know you said you're a big Filipowski guy. I personally have Ware and Holmes above Filipowski.
I'm going through writing something about Filipowski right now. I hope to get it out soon. So after watching, I'm a little lower on him, but than I was because I thought he was going to be like a full-time 5 for a lot of NBA actions on defense, but I don't see it right now. So I'm a little lower than initially. With my fourth guy, I'll go with Isaiah Crawford.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So another senior. I think I've picked 3 seniors now, or maybe a junior
Is
and
this a
2
trend?
seniors. Yeah. So he got a lot of reps at Louisiana this year. Um, so let me just pull up my notes again. He ran a little bit of pick and roll, but I really like how he's like an isolation hub when the play breaks down at the end of shot clock. He's in the
hmm
90th percentile for frequency. So like those second side actions where you can run a little bit of pick and roll, you can throw the ball to him in isolation. Uh, he's really good driver. He's a good finisher, really, really strong, and he has NBA strength right now. He long strides when he gets to the basket. He's going to be able to finish through contacts, be able to finish the rim with good body control. He's got a good bump with his shoulder. Finished 60% at the rim for his career. And then I think he's at like 40% on threes on over three, or no, just under 300 in his career. So he did get the reps, but he did miss majority of 2 seasons with 2 ACL tears. But
Yeah.
I think the athleticism is still pretty good. And the defense is what truly makes him special. He's maybe like one of the top 5 defenders in the league. If you're looking at someone like shoot little blank, who's the guy on the Pelicans?
Herb.
Yeah, sorry, if you're looking for a Herb Jones, then maybe he can be, I don't think he's going to be that good on defense, but he can be the guy who surprises you in the second round. He's going to be a terrific low man slash help defender. He's got like +7 wingspan again, good off ball, good on ball. He's very versatile on defense.
Absolutely. Give me one
Yep.
sec. All right. Hold on, wait. Defense. Hold on. I'm looking for one thing real quick. All right, cool. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Isaiah Crawford. He's been more of a draft sleeper recently. I think he's starting to get some hype. Like him, Pacom Dadiet has gotten a lot of draft hype recently. I think were we talking about Pacom Dadiet?
Yeah, we talked about that yet a lot.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit. Yeah, some really fun. I think what we're getting at, like, this is again a really fun draft class. This is my third year evaluating draft prospects. It's my favorite year so far. Just in terms of how much I've enjoyed evaluating the prospects. So yeah, man, it's been really really fun. All right, so let's play a game. All right. No, it's not Lakers Grizzlies game
Yeah.
6 of a first round playoff
Game
matchup.
six.
Not that kind of game. I promise.
It's game one's the one that hurts me because they almost had game one. And game three, where LeBron got the game winner, those are the two that hurt. Game six,
Yeah.
that one's over.
All right. So we're gonna build our perfect NBA draft prospects using these 5 categories. You get to use any of these 5 traits from any player, right? So you got
Okay.
defense. Let's get more specific. Let's go perimeter defense and interior defense. So I'm just gonna add it to my notes. So we have perimeter defense, interior defense, shooting, finishing, playmaking, ball handling. All right. And
Okay.
we're gonna try to build separately, right? And we cannot pick the same player. All right.
Okay.
So like let's say for some reason I go Tyler Kolek for playmaking. All right, Tyler Kolek is off the board. All right.
Okay.
All right, cool. So let's play that game. So I'll give you Adam first pick.
I'm gonna go with. Ooh, some of these are tough. Okay, I'll go with best playmaking to start, and I'm gonna go with Nikola Topic. I think he's the
Ooh.
best passer in the draft, and I mentioned Bub could be really good in pick and roll earlier. I think Topic is gonna be the best pick and roll player in the draft.
So we didn't get to Topic during our my guys players in this draft. I
Yeah.
love Topic.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
him so much. Number one guard on my board for me personally right now. There are still question marks with him, obviously, most notably with the shot and with
Yeah.
health, honestly. So like if he slipped on my board come draft night, that wouldn't be a big surprise to me. But just in terms of playmaking ability, I also think he's an incredible finisher as well. Super super
Yeah.
fun
Yeah.
prospect.
And the shooting
Um,
indicators are there, but they have to realize to work.
yeah. All right. So shooting, I'm gonna go Jared McCain.
Okay.
Another one of my more favorite players in this draft class. I think he's actually kind of underrated personally, but elite shooter to the point where I think some people think that's all he can do. Where I think, oh no, there's some other stuff in there, but elite shooter in my opinion.
Yep. No, I'll agree with that. I think he is the best case for best shooter in the draft.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go with, so I don't have to go shooting until last now. I'll go with ball handling. I think I'm not the biggest fan of him, but Rob Dillingham might have probably has the best handle,
He
but maybe like
does.
best handle in a couple of years. Like, was there anyone like him last year with a handle like that?
Uh, no, because like weirdly, the first name that came to my head was Nick Smith Jr., who I really loved. But
Okay.
even then, like I thought, no. I'm trying to think. There were some guards I really loved last year, but no, like just pure handle and ability to like create
Yeah.
space. Rob Dillingham has it. I mean, ESPN. I was about to make the same corny joke ESPN did on what was it, draft lottery night? I forget who. I don't know who the reporter was, or whatever, but she was interviewing Rob Dillingham. She was like, "Oh yeah, it's Rob with the shifts because he's shifty." I'm like, "All right,
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
right."
It's a good one.
All right, finishing for me. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna go interior defense. I'm just gonna take Don McClingan. I'm gonna take Don
Okay.
McClingan. get out of the way. Maybe I should have just taken Sar. Shit, whatever. We are gonna live and we're gonna move on. But Klingon, I am a fan of Klingon a lot. I think he's a guy. I feel like a lot of people feel that the like UConn guys are going to suffer a little bit because of the conversation we had earlier, right? Where it's like, okay, they look really good because of the system. Where I think Klingon, in terms of like who I feel like is the best bet, I think it's Klingon, right? Where the interior rim protection, and the fact they can be kind of a delay playmaking hub or a elbow split cut playmaking hub too, which I think is a very valuable skill to have, especially if you're a big that isn't the most reliable shooter right now. If I can leverage the fact that you can't shoot and to make you a reliable playmaker, cough, Draymond Green. Not saying he is Draymond Green, obviously, right? But like being able to turn what you can do into a positive. I think Klingon's going to be awesome in the right situation. I personally hate the Houston pick, the Houston like mock that's gone around recently, but I think I've actually mocked him to you guys a lot recently.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Klingon personally.
No, I think that's the safe bet for best interior defender in the class.
Yeah.
I think I think so. Okay, I'm gonna go perimeter defender then because I don't want you to get the two best, and I'm gonna go with Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn, like great perimeter defender, but also elite like wing rim protector.
Yes.
Best in the draft, maybe best in a couple drafts. I think if Ryan Dunn can ever play on offense, I think he can be the best defender in the class overall.
I try to stray away from the word generational a ton, but it's so hard not to say the word generational. It's just purely defensive talent, pound for pound. It's hard not to use that word because obviously he's a freak, like athlete, tested really, really well at the combine. Great on-ball perimeter defender, but I think the stuff he does away from the ball is the most impressive stuff with Ryan Dunn. I mean, he's 6'8" without shoes, and his wingspan was a 7'4". Is that what it was?
Yeah, he's got a wild wingspan.
Just
plus
freak.
6.
He's a freak athlete.
Yeah, the off-ball stuff, like being a low man, he's gonna be so good at it.
Oh my
Just being
God.
the guacho in the pick and roll defense is gonna be nice.
Get him on a team that can just semi-develop the jumper. Where's Chip England at right now? See, OKC. Gosh, never mind.
With Chip England? Yeah.
Never mind. All right, you can stay away. Stay away from OKC. So, okay. I'm gonna go playmaking now, I think, and I'm really mad that you took Topage because I think, I mean, like you said, best playmaker in this draft class by a lot, at least from the guard spot for sure. I think. I'm gonna go with the guy that's like gotten a lot of buzz for being a mediocre playmaker. Where I feel like the rest of the draft community has kind of said, well, no, I just don't think that's like correct. And honestly, he could have an argument for, perimeter shooting. And I'm gonna go Reed Shepherd. I think I don't know if like all the way number one guard option, primary ball handler, he'll be able to be this good of a playmaker, but I think if we were to just look at ability to process the game and make the necessary reads, or like make I call it like a pre-catch read, something like making another quarterback comparison here. Sorry, where you have to, before you snap the ball, you have to read what the pre-snap defense is in. And Luka in the NBA, right? I'm not comparing Reed Shepherd to Luka. I'm just making the point. Luka is the best player at doing that, right? It's a clip that I put on my film breakdown the channel from Game 4, and it's like I'm trying to paint the picture. It's a ball screen with him and Maxi Kleba. It's Jaden McDaniels guarding Jaden Hardy maybe on the in the right corner, completely isolated. So that's the single tag side. And Mike Conley is the low man opposite. He's guarding Derrick Jones Jr. And Luka catches it, and I'm going to obviously post a clip here. Luka catches it. He takes one dribble. He reads like before he even puts the ball down. Okay, Conley's already loading heavy to the ball. One dribble down, snaps it with his right hand, and in the shooting pocket. And Derrick Jones Jr. knocked down the three. Just the ability to like make those like high level reads. I think Reed Shepard's just an insanely high basketball IQ player that can make a lot of like difficult reads, and I think he is a really good playmaker personally. What are your thoughts on Reed as a playmaker? We haven't really talked, or just Reed as a player. We haven't talked about him a ton yet.
Yeah, so he's gonna get the auto Calipari bump, so that's nice. Um, so I might be a little lower on him. I think like Fred VanVleet is a good comparison because he has a little trouble getting to the rim. But yeah, good playmaker. I don't think you want him as your primary, but secondary playmaker will be really good. I do agree, maybe the best shooter in the draft. He's right up there. The height's a little worrying, but the off-ball defense and even some point of attack stuff. In college, he was one of the best in the class, especially best freshman. So I think that part's going to translate. He's not going to be the best, but I think that'll be really good.
So, so give me, so let me know what your thoughts are, right? Um, I on this comp, I really struggled with the Reed comp. And by the way, I don't even mind the Fred VanVleet one because I think in terms of like the top guards in this class, I do think he has the lowest. Like okay, compared to Rob Dillingham himself, Isaiah Collier, and like I don't know, Stephon Castle even, right? Nikola Topic. I think he has the lowest like high ceiling out of those guys. My pro comp for Reed Shepard was Mike Conley.
Mike Conley, okay. Okay. Yeah, Mike Conley was like never the number one creator on the team in terms of scoring, but good playmaker. I think the defense could even be better than Mike Conley. I know he got his second team,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's not too bad. CJ McCollum, I think, is another good one. CJ McCollum with better defense. It's like
I
someone,
haven't thought about that one.
yeah, someone who struggles a little bit to get to the rim, but he can do a lot of other stuff. And if he's your second guard, then you're in a good spot.
My initial comp was a perfect, just like a man child of Austin Reeves and Derek White. That was
Okay.
that was my now again the bad and the good just mixed together. It's like Derek White, but you have Austin Reeves. So okay, we'll
Yeah, yeah.
take the Derek White defense slider down, but bump some of the like creation ability in the mid range area from
Yeah.
Austin, stuff like that. And I
I
just say,
think
we'll go Mike Conley.
Derek White is probably in my do not comp this player list because it's like out of this world improvement,
Defender.
right? Like you couldn't
Yeah.
project that.
Yeah, that's a good
He's
point.
right there with like Draymond and Steph. You can't project those things, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I've seen the Derek White stuff and like the with the defensive playmaking, I don't think that's bad
yeah. All right.
as a comp.
I'm hoping. I think it's back. Yeah, it's back on you. I'm hoping that this guy can slip one more pick. I should have honestly taken the guy I'm thinking of now, but go ahead, it's on you.
Okay, so you had playmaking Reed, right?
Playmaking,
Um,
Reed. Yep, yeah, that's my
okay,
last
so I
pick.
got interior defense, shooting, and finishing. Okay. Who do I think is the best finisher? I'm gonna come back to that one. I'm gonna go with best shooter. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say Tristan da Silva. I think
Okay,
Baylor Shearman has he's a case too, but I'm gonna say Tristan da Silva is the best shooter in the class, and
all
not
right,
just relative to size, just overall.
yeah. Again, De Silva's awesome. Um, do I wait one more pick? Okay, so I want to talk about this guy. Um, yeah, more so because I just want to. Ooh, oh wait. Okay, I have perimeter defense available, so I'm gonna go with this one. Uh I'm gonna take the upside pick here. Best deep perimeter defense. We're gonna stick with the wings. Give me Ron Holland.
Yeah,
I love his upside as a perimeter defender. I think at the very least he'll come in and be a good defensive player. Regardless of whatever offensive concern you might have about him, and I still think there's like legitimate upside for that to grow even.
yeah. When we're talking about floor, it's really, really good point of attack defender and like really good hustle. I know hustle's a nice buzzword, but his is really impressive.
Yeah.
G League didn't do many favors on defense. Guard heavy league, they don't play a lot of defense, but Ron Holland's the best perimeter defender. I think that's a safe bet too.
All right. So you have finishing and you have interior defense left.
Yeah, what am I gonna go? Interior defense, I'll go because I don't think you're gonna use. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna go with interior defense. I'm gonna go with Alex Sarr. I don't think it's great right now, but I think it's going to be really good. And I think the ability to switch, I think is going to be like useful in a lot of pick and roll coverages. You know, he can play below the screen and drop. He's going to play ice. He's going to switch, hedge. He hedged a lot in the NBL, and they don't have a lot of ball screens in the NBL, but I think he's going to pick up on that pretty quickly.
All right. So finishing ability now. Uh, huh. Or do I go ball handling?
So I already did ball handling, so you should go finishing to try to get my spot.
Finishing, I'm just gonna go as Isaiah Collier.
Okay, that was going to be mine. I should have picked that one last time.
Yeah. That's actually been the guy I've been talking about for a good while now, where I was like, yeah, please don't pick him, and he
Yeah.
goes to second last pick. But again, freaking tank. You let him explode off of 2 feet, it's wraps for you, man. He's so crafty. You said speed to power earlier. That's such a perfect analogy. He's awesome. I love Isaiah Collier.
Yeah, I think he is NBA strength day one too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so yeah, your last one is finishing.
So I'm not gonna go with a guard. I'm gonna go with Yves Missy. I think I know it's kind of cheating a little bit, but the athleticism to get there, I think
No, that's fair.
that's fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The athleticism, I think he is really I don't know if he's underrated right now, but the idea of him is probably underrated. Like the ceiling,
Mhm.
one of the best athletes in the draft. The driving and the ability to just dribble from the perimeter is really good. I'm gonna go. It's a little bit out there, but I'm gonna go with Missy.
And then ball handling. I mean, I've actually got it stuck with ball handling. I'm not gonna lie. Huh. I don't
Like,
know. Wait.
I don't know if he's the best. Like Devin Carter's up there. I don't know if he's gonna be a primary ball handler.
I honestly was thinking about Devin Carter for perimeter defense. I was like, wait, no, let me
Yeah,
take
yeah,
Ron
yeah.
Holland. Um, like I like Collect, but no, I don't think Collect is like this insane ball handler. Uh, hold on. Um, hmm.
I think that they're a little short. Out of guards in my top like 40, I think I only had five of them. So I get
Yeah.
it's like 10%. Yeah.
I'm just gonna be different and talk. Get to a player we haven't talked about. A wing that I do actually like his handle. That I said earlier, I am a little lower on him. I feel was Matas Buzelis. I like his handle though. That is one of the things I did like more about him
He's a
personally.
lot of versatility on offense, which is gonna be nice.
I'm glad you brought that up. So like the G League, rightfully so, gets like a lot of crap for how this last season went. The one thing I'm gonna give them props for this is not G League Joe, G League Ignite. I
Yeah.
loved how they used Buzelis. Like every play type, I feel like if you pop on a game tape from Mouse Buzelis, you saw the off screen stuff, whether it's pin downs or whatever. They'll use them as a post hub playmaker. They'll let him play out of pick and rolls. They'll let him play and self create. They'll let him post ups on matchups. I think that's actually the best thing that G League Ignite did for him was put him
Yeah.
in different situations to score, to play make. And I also think that he has really good like weak side rim protection and just
Yes.
defensive upside. My pro com for him was Franz Wagner personally. If it pans out, mine was Franz Wagner.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a good one. I was thinking like when you think of post playmakers like maybe like Kyle Anderson or Lamar Odom even, but I'm not good with
I
comps.
think I've seen Lamar Oldham. I think
Yeah? Okay.
Kevin O'Connor maybe. I mean at the
Oh no.
I was like yeah. I feel
No,
like I've
no.
seen Lamar
Okay.
though.
I think I don't envy anyone who has to come up with 70 player comps for the
Oh, I
NBA
hate it.
draft. Yeah, yeah.
I hate pro comps traditionally, but I was
Me
like, all
too.
right, might as well. Why
Gives
not?
you a good idea of like how they're going to play at the next level,
Yeah,
just in one name. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, Adam, don't want to take too much of your time. You've already done enough. Adam, thank you so much, bro, for hop on with me. Please, can you let the good folks know where they can check out your great content.
Yeah, so I'm at Grizzlies Film on Twitter. Maybe a little outdated for the name, but I'm gonna keep it. And I do have a Medium where I write, and I've been releasing draft stuff slowly, and I have a YouTube channel. They're both linked in my Twitter account, so it's the best place to find me. No, and thanks for having me, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll have to do this again. And yeah, Adam, thanks so much for hopping on with us. Guys, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. Previously on the channel, more amazing content on the way. And with that being said, see ya, stay safe, and peace out.